by Harvey Norman. Pre-order the Samsung Galaxy S8 at Harvey Norman.
So the star Doncaster today, $3 million up for grabs. A wide betting race, Remain running probably the favourite. Lots of money for Redkirk Warrior. It was good pace, but it was in someone who went to the front. Zach Purton had won this race 3 years ago on a horse that had won a couple, and he rode it to perfection. Happy Clapper. So close again, so beaten in 2 Doncasters by Winks and by a front runner here today. So for Zach, a great result for him and for John O'Shea. It's the first time Zach's won for John O'Shea. So channel change coming fairly soon. John O'Shea, he's won this race on a couple of occasions prior to joining as the main Godolphin man here, of course, in Australia. So a great result. And Simon, first time we've seen you, that is a great tip. $43 for the win, and I think the first four's paid about $280,000.
Well, let's hope a few people flipped over their recliners back at home and got on, Bruce, because that's what it's all about. I do my form like I'm going to ride horses in races, and he was the one that just fitted the bill beautifully. But to Zach Purton, used his brain. When you fire horses up out of the barriers like that and you get them rolling that first furlong and a half, don't bring them back to the field, because you've got an advantage. Keep them rolling, keep them in a nice rhythm, and he's a good 1.25 mile horse. This was a mile, handicap conditions, yippee-ki-yay.
Zach Purton, the last nearly decade, he's put himself on the world stage as one of the world's best riders. Success at Ascot, Japan. He's dominated Hong Kong. Now Magic Mariah's comes
back to the spring carnivals, and it's just great to see John O'Shea. He was a bit worried about those 3 runners going into it, but he got this one right.
Oh, absolutely, and wonderful for him to have a big winner on a big day after having been, let's face it, a touch quiet. So the first 4 paid $300,000. How's that? It's a handicap. It's difficult to find the winners, but Richards with the winning jockey now.
Yeah, well, that's amazing. What you said, how much was that for the first 4 again?
$300,000.
And John said to me today, he said he's very, very fit. He said go forward. And, you know, like I said, the plan wasn't really to lead, but I was happy enough to let him be there and just let him keep rolling along.
You know this Randwick Straight pretty well. You've won this race before, but did it feel pretty long today? I mean, Happy Clapper was eating into you late, wasn't he?
Yeah, the 300, I was pretty confident because he was coming through his gears quite nicely for me and he gave me a good kick, but at the 100, I could feel Happy Clapper coming, and I was just hoping that the winning post would get to me before it got to him.
What does it mean to you, Zach? I mean, you're not the first time you've done it, not the first time you won big races around the world, but to win the Doncaster on a day like today.
Yeah, you know, they're all very special races. They're always great to win, and you know, it's hard to get the opportunities in Australia because all the top boys are tied up to the big stables, but it's nice to be thrown a bone every now and then, and it's good to get a result like this.
Pretty good bone. Will you catch up with Jimmy tonight at all?
He came into the room earlier today and gave me a pep talk, so he'll be taking the credit for this win, no doubt.
The Papa, no doubt about that. And just quickly, you had a bit of a problem with the ear in the last week or two. You missed a Group 1 in New Zealand, but all sweet now.
Yeah, when I was back here in Sydney about 4 weeks ago, I picked up a virus and, you know, it hung around and progressively got worse, and it was only about 4 or 5 days ago that I finally got on top of it. So I feel good now, and hopefully we can keep winning more races.
Zach, congratulations. What a win. It somewhat was definitely more than that today. It was a big winner for Zach Purton and Godolphin. A hard luck story or two. So for New South Wales and Victorian viewers, time now to switch from 7 to 7-2 to continue to watch the closing stages of what's been a remarkable day here at Royal Randwick, with one still to come. Some run first up. We're going jockey game. You talked about you wanted to ride it somewhat, Simon. Well, you can get off it for the moment and go to Antonio Giuseppe. He got a fair way back, didn't he?
Yeah, Antonio, because he drew look a mid-gate, and he didn't need to get that far back. You got A right outside him, Palatino on the right-hand side. You see Remain in the yellow colours up there on your left of screen. Just roll forward. Huraki, 5 deep. Zach Purton says, OK, you all want to take a sit? Advantage me. I'll roll forward here, get myself into a nice rhythm. You can see Redkirk Warrior, not much luck, 3 deep, red cap, though he's got cover. Right here, there's just nice tempo, they're bowling along. See how he's not getting too close to Palantino's heels in front. Nice space to Arod in the burgundy colours up there. Really good tempo as we roll into the 1,000-metre mark.
We've got the eventual third sense of occasion sitting just on the outside of Tommy Berry on Antonio Giuseppe. Here he's probably thinking, we're coming into the straight before the straight. Where am I going to go? He's got to start thinking, am I going to try and go inside? Am I going to ride for luck? Am I going to try and push out? At the moment he's got a wall of horses in front of him and to his side. But he's just going to be wanting his horse to be travelling nicely and hopefully there with something when he asks for it.
Well, Pete, you're on low remain. He's in the blue colours gold sleeves there. Huey up there, he's just off the bridle.
Disappointing. He tracked Haydock 3 deep into the race. I thought he'd peel. Huey didn't peel. Bit of a squeeze there. Was he looking for an inside run that wasn't there? But I thought if he was going well enough, he would have come round Haydock's heels if it was possible.
It opened up quite nicely here on the rail, didn't it?
And look at sense of occasion coming, eh?
Yep, going with his run there.
And here's Haraki coming. It was a good run, Haraki.
Yep. He was terrific. I've got to say, it's somewhat second up. Sense of occasion was first up. Haraki lightly raced. These horses that were lightly raced going into this big mile from these heavier tracks.
Galloped over 1,000 metres, 17 straight she's going for. Position, and then a very different race with it somewhat doing it all the way for Zach Burton. He wins the second Doncaster for John O'Shea, and there's no question.
It's so exciting just to relive this. I think you could watch the replay of this race countless times and still be amazed, especially on a day when it was very difficult to make out ground from behind. Tommy Berry did a right move. He didn't sweep out wide on the bend. He let them come into the straight, and then he had to kind of rely on the horse's incredible turn of foot.
What I love is the shadows. Watch the shadows. It's just a perfect overhead shot. Jeez. He just tried to outrun the Shadow Chautauqua, but the Shadow beat him. But obviously thought she was home. She's just been a bonny mare, but that's a freak performance from a horse that's done it 3 times.
Burton in front for one of the great stables of the world, but a stable that needed, I think, a big race win in Australia right now.
Absolutely, and it's amazing to think. I mean, I'm possibly a little bit negative on Group 1 handicaps because as a handicap you don't always get the best horse winning because they're weighted fairly, but this was essentially the best ride winning, I think, and the best tactics because it's somewhat, we came here with good form, but it was a winning move to go out to the front and set a good...
It's going to be Winks, isn't it? And you've got the Sydney Cup, the Australian Oaks and the Coolmore Legacy Stakes, the queen of the turf. Simon O'Donnell will be down in those stalls getting all those interviews. We'll be back. Pete would have had the slippers on and the pipe and he would have bought 1 or 2. And thank you for being with us today. Great job. Well done, Simon. Cheska as always. You too, Pete. See you at Royal Randwick next Saturday.
7 slip.
Sydney to